tayo ng Math-aral. Sa Math, walang maiiwan. Math-sayang Math-aral tayo ng Math-tuto, upang ikayo masenso. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Maging matyaga, maging matalino, halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina Math-aral na tayo. Halina, 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 aral na tayo.
Hello, and po, ako po si Mr. Jimenez from ERIS or Eulogio Rodriguez Integrated School, at ako po ang inyong magiging lecturer o ako po ang magdi-discuss ngayong tanghali na ito. Maraming salamat po sa mga manonood at sana po may matutunan tayo para sa linggo na to. Ito po ang advanced lesson natin for quarter 4, week 1 ng ating CLAID module. And po, start na po tayo. Okay, in quarter 4, week 1, our topic, it's all about 6 trigonometric ratios. And then, bago po tayo magsimula, alamin muna natin ang ating objectives for today. Our objectives for today, and po, meron po tayong tatlo. Define 6 trigonometric ratios. Number 2, determine the values of trigonometric ratios for any particular angle using scientific calculator. Third, use trigonometric ratios to solve for the parts of right triangle. And po ang ating objectives for today. Next, lesson. Okay, ang lesson po natin is umiikot, ngayong 4th grading ay umiikot sa trigonometry. Since nasimulan na po natin ang ating trigonometry ng 3rd grading, yan, yung last 3 weeks ata, ayun nga, yung last 3 weeks ng ating 3rd grading is first part na yun ng ating trigonometry. At pag sinabi natin trigonometry, we're talking about triangles. At meron tayo ditong pinopokus, which is the right triangle and the oblique triangle. Pag sinabi nating right triangle, ito po ay nakapokus sa right triangle. At para ma-solve natin to, we're going to use the mnemonic SOHCAHTOA. And the oblique triangle focus on the acute and or obtuse triangles. At para ma-solve naman natin si acute and obtuse or obtuse triangles, we're going to use the law of sine and law of cosine. At ito po, dito po, umiikot ang ating 4th quarter. Now, punta na po tayo sa SOHCAHTOA or the 6 trigonometric ratios. And po, tignan niyo po mabuti itong dalawang triangle na meron tayo, dalawang right triangle, sa left side at saka itong nasa right side. Ayan po. Yung nasa left side, ito po ang ating angle reference or reference angle na meron tayo. Mahalaga po kasi sa trigonometry na alam natin kung nasaan yung reference angle o kung nasaan yung tinutukoy na angle na meron tayo. This one is our reference angle at yung opposite niya, yung opposite side, will be the opposite. Ito po ang ating opposite side. And then, yung right next, yung leg next to our reference angle called the adjacent. And the longest side will be the hypotenuse. Lagi naman po yun. Yan. Lagi pong hypotenuse or longest side because this is the opposite of our right angle. Yan. Ngayon po, tignan naman natin tong nasa right side na right triangle. Iniba ko po yung pwesto ng ating reference angle. Ito po yung reference angle natin ngayon. Ayan. Ang opposite niya ngayon is yung nasa baba. pag nabago po, ang ibig sabihin po niyan, pag nabago po ang ating reference angle, mababago din ang posisyon ng ating opposite side and adjacent side. Now, ang opposite side naman dito is yung A. Kanina, ang opposite side natin is yung B, di ba po? Pag nabago ang posisyon ng ating reference angle, mababago din po ang ating opposite and adjacent side. But, the hypotenuse will be the same. Ayan po. Ngayon po, dito po sa right side ng triangle, this will be the opposite side and this will be the adjacent side. Now, sa mga papakita ko pong example ngayon, mag-focus po muna tayo dito. Yan, dito. Nasa left side. Yan. What is SOHCAHTOA nga naman? So means the sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Para po mabilis natin matandaan, that is SO. That is SOH. Meaning, sine opposite hypotenuse. Sine theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. In this triangle, the opposite is B and the hypotenuse is C. That is so. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. And then the ka. The ka means, mag-zoom. Okay. Now, this is the ka. Ka means cosine theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. This one, ka. Cosine, adjacent, hypotenuse. Then, in this triangle, the adjacent is A and the hypotenuse is C. That is ka. Cosine theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Now, the TOA. TOA means tangent theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Yan, ganyan din po. Opposite over adjacent. That is B over A. TOA. This is called the mnemonic. This formula is so popular in trigonometry kasi mas madalas po talaga natin siya ginagamit. Lalo na po pagka kumuha kayo ng course or strand na related sa math. Magagamit po natin siya lagi si SOHCAHTOA. Kaya po, sana po matandaan po natin ito. Now, bakit sabi dito 6 trigonometric ratios? Ano pa yung tatlo? Yan. Yung another 3 po is the reciprocal or the inverse of these 3. First is, yung pang-apat po natin is the reciprocal of sine. That is cosecant. Cosecant theta, kung reciprocal lang niya, the reciprocal of opposite over hypotenuse is hypotenuse over opposite. Kaya, yun lang po. Pag natandaan natin si SO, ang reciprocal niya is si cosecant, which is cosecant is equal to hypotenuse over opposite. Then, the reciprocal of cosine is secant. Secant theta is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent. Di ba po? Kasi si cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Ang reciprocal niya is si secant is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent. Di ba po? Pinaliktad lang natin si cosine, si secant na yan. And then, yung pang-anim is yung reciprocal ng tangent. The reciprocal of tangent is cotangent. Since opposite over adjacent, ang reciprocal niya is adjacent over opposite. Yan, tandaan lang po natin si SO, ka, TOA. Matatandaan na rin po natin si cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Di ba po? Yan. Ngayon naman po, i-apply na natin itong knowledge natin all about 6 trigonometric ratios. Let's have an example. Ayan. Meron po pala akong 5 examples dito. So, medyo bibilisan na po natin. Example number 1. Given right triangle XYZ with angle C as the right angle, define the 6 trigonometric ratios for angle x. Ibig sabihin po, our reference angle will be angle x. Lagyan po natin ng guhit. Yan. Reference angle daw po natin is angle x. Ayan. Now, unahin muna natin si SO. Ano po ibig sabihin ulit ng SO? Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Ayan. So, sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Ano po ang opposite ng angle x? Ito po yung angle x natin. Ang opposite niya is the side x. Ayan. And the hypotenuse is the C. The side C. This one. So, this is opposite over hypotenuse. Kaya po naging x over C. Then, the ka. Next po natin is the ka. Ka means the cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Or adjacent is the y and the hypotenuse is the c. So, magiging y over c or c. Then, TOA. TOA means tangent is equal to opposite. Ito pa, tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. So, this is the opposite and this is the adjacent. Then, the answer is x over y. Tangent x is equal to x over y. Now, ito po yung tatlo natin trigonometric ratio. And then, kukunin naman po natin yung reciprocal nila. Ayun po this is the abbreviation for sine. That is SIN. The abbreviation of cosine, COS. And the abbreviation of tangent is TAN. Next natin is the cosecant. And this is the abbreviation of cosecant is CSC. Cosecant x is the reciprocal of sine. Since ang sagot natin dito is x over c, magiging c over x. That is the cosecant. Then, the second is the reciprocal of cosine. Ang cosine x natin is equal to y over c. Then, ang second x is the reciprocal of this one. So, magiging c over y. Then, the cotangent is reciprocal of tangent. Then, the tangent x is x over y. Then, the cotangent x is y over x. Baligtarin lang po natin. Ayan na po. Yan, sagutan na po natin yung 6 trigonometric ratios of angle x. Now, next example na po tayo. Example number 2. In the given at the right, find the 6 trigonometric ratio of angle theta. Yan. Ibig sabihin po, this is our reference angle. This will be the opposite. And yung 6 naman po will be the adjacent. And the longest side is the hypotenuse. Now, ulitin ko po So means sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Since the value of opposite is 4 and the hypotenuse is 8, that is 4 over 8. Then, the lowest term of 4 over 8 is 1/2. Next one is ka. Ka means cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent is 6 and the hypotenuse is 8. Then, the lowest term is 3/4. Next one is tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. That is TOA. Tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. Since the opposite here is 4 and the adjacent is 6, that is 4 over 6. And the lowest term of 4 over 6 is 2/3. Yan po. Ito po. Next, the reciprocal of sine is cosecant. The reciprocal of sine is cosecant. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. Then the reciprocal, the hypotenuse is 8 and the opposite is 4. 8, the lowest term of 8 over 4 is 2. Then the reciprocal of cosine is secant. Secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. Then the hypotenuse is 8 and the adjacent is 6. Then the lowest term of 8 over 6 is 4/3. Last one is the cotangent. Cotangent is the reciprocal of tan. If tan is opposite over adjacent, cotangent is adjacent over opposite. Then the value of adjacent is 6 and the value of opposite is 4. The lowest term of 6 over 4 is 3/2 or 3 over 2. Yan. Ganun lang po siya kasimple. No? Basta matandaan lang po natin yung tatlo, which is the SOHCAHTOA. So means sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Ka is cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And the tangent is opposite over adjacent. Ayun lang po. And then, yung tatlo pansunod is the reciprocal of that 3. Okay, next na po natin. Okay, example number 3. In example number 3, given cosine theta is equal to 4 over 7. Find the other trigonometric ratio of the acute angle theta. Ayan po. Since meron tayong given na isa, yung cosine theta is equal to 4 over 7, hanapin natin yung 5. Yung 5 pang trigonometric ratios. Ayan po Tignan po natin mabuti. Ang sabi dito, cosine theta is equal to 4 over 7. Sa ating SOHCAHTOA, since that is yung ka means cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Ayan po. And then, I will, ang tawag dito, denote tangent as A and hypotenuse as C. Ibig sabihin po, kung si adjacent is A and the hypotenuse is C, si opposite po is B. Pero pwede po natin interchange yun. Depende po sa inyo. For example, ang ginawa nyo pong adjacent is B and then the opposite will be A. Para po magagamit po kasi natin yun mamaya. Tignan nyo po. Now, since dinenote ko as A, as adjacent is equal to A, and then A is equal to 4, and then hypotenuse is equal to C, and then C is equal to 7. Ayan po. Using the Pythagorean Theorem, find the value of B. Ayan po. Ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina. Pwede nyo pong gawing adjacent is B, pero yung opposite natin will be A. Kaya po, ang magiging resulta po dito, ang pa-find po natin ng value is yung A. Pag in-interchange po natin. Since dito po sa akin, ang dinote ko kay adjacent will be A, and then the opposite will be the B. Ayan po. So, the Pythagorean Theorem is A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Yan, napag-aralan na po natin to ng week 8 sa ating third grading. Kaya sana po, natandaan pa natin since ilang linggo pa lang naman po yung nakakalipas na. And, by substitution, substitute lang po natin yung given information na meron tayo. Si A is equal to 4 and C7 is equal, C is equal to 7. Ayan. Simplify. 4 squared is 16 and 7 squared is 49. Ayan po. Simplify po natin to and then bring down lang natin yung B. Ayan. By transposition or additive inverse, 49 minus 16 is 33. Square root both side para po mawala, for us to eliminate yung square dito, we need to square root both side. And then, B is equal to square root of 33. Since square root of 33 is wala naman exact answer, we're going to remain it as square root of 33. Now, alaman natin yung value ng ating opposite, ang value ng ating adjacent, and ang value ng ating hypotenuse. Makukuha na natin ngayon yung trigonometric ratio na kulang, which is yung una is the SO. Wala pa tayong SO, which is sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Then, our opposite, as denoted as B, is equal to square root of 33. Ayan po yung nakuha natin kanina, ito. And then, C is the given. Ito po, meron po tayo dito. C is equal to 7. That is square root of 33 over 7. Since wala na pong lowest term yan, that is the final answer. Next one is the TOA. TOA means tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent. Ayan po. The value of B, katulad yung nakuha natin, is square root of 33. And the value of A will be 4. Square root of 33 over 4. Since wala na po silang lowest term, then that is the final answer. Now, the cosecant. The cosecant is the opposite of sine, which is hypotenuse over opposite. Ayan po lagi nyo lang po tatandaan, since opposite po sila, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Baligtarin lang po natin yan, o kunin natin yung opposite niya. That is the hypotenuse over opposite. That is C over B. Kung si sine is B over C, si cosecant is C over B. That is 7 over square root of 33. Since bawal po tayong may radical sa ating denominator, we're going to use rationalization. By rationalization, we're going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by square root of 33. Pakita po natin kung paano po nangyari yan. That is 7 over square root of 33 times square root of 33 over square root of 33. Yan po. Is equal to 7 times square root of 33 over square root of 33 squared. Then cancel, cancel. Then the final answer is 7 times square root of 33 over 33. Ganyan po. Then, burahin po muna natin ito. Ayan. Next is second. Second theta is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent. That is the reciprocal of our cosine. Ayan po. If the cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, the reciprocal is hypotenuse over adjacent. That is C over A. The value of C is 7 and the value of A is 4. That is 4 over 7. Then since 4 over 7 doesn't have lowest term, then that is the final answer. Last one is the cotangent. The cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent. If the tangent is opposite over adjacent, the reciprocal is adjacent over opposite. That is 4 over square root of 33. Katulad po nung ginawa natin kanina, we're going to find by rationalization para po makuha natin yung simplest answer. For square root of 33, we're going to multiply both numerator and denominator by square root of 33. Yan po. Is equal to 4 times square root of 33 over square root of 33 squared. Ayan, makakancel na po yung ating square root and the squared. And the final answer is square root of 33, 4 square root of 33 over 33. Then, ayan po, nakuha na po natin yung ating other trigonometric ratio, which is the sine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and the cotangent. Ayan po. Next example po tayo. Ayan. Kung papansin nyo, meron tayong image na calculator. Ibig sabihin po, gagamit tayo ng calculator. I'm going to teach you how to use calculator in finding the ratio and the angle. Ayan. Find the ratio given the angle. Ayan. Given po yung angle, hanapin natin yung ratio. And note lang po, if sa calculator po kasi, hindi na natin kailangan pang isulat or i-type itong degree na to. Pag sinabi natin, pagka tinype natin na sin 48, yun na po, hindi na po natin kailangan pang ilagay yung degree. Sin 48, now, yan. Ito po yung ipipress natin sa calculator. Press lang natin, sin 48, then equal. Ito na po yung lalabas sa sagot. And note lang po, round to 4 decimal places. Pag ang hinahanap po natin is ratio, and pagka tinype po natin yung sin 48 degrees sa calculator, ang lalabas po dun is the ratio. Ito po, ratio po ito. Ayan. Lagi pong 4 decimal places pagka ratio. Napapakita ko po sa inyo. Since ngayon po kasi, kung may scientific calculator na po kayo sa bahay, hindi maganda po yun. Kasi po, magagamit naman po natin yan. Depende po sa kukunin natin na course or na strand. Mahalaga po kasi yung calculator since may mga instances na hindi naman talaga tayo papayagan ni teacher pag nasa face-to-face na tayo. Hindi tayo papayagan ng teacher natin or ng proctor na exam na gumamit tayo ng cellphone using while nagkakandak ng exam, di ba? Kaya kailangan po may calculator tayo. Scientific. Ayan. Ayan, tuturuan ko po kayo paano gumamit ng scientific calculator. I have here a downloaded scientific calculator. And then, huwag nyo pong intindihin yung nasa kaliwang side. Ito lang pong nasa right side na to. Yung mula sa shift hanggang sa 0. Ayan lang po yung nakikita natin sa regular na scientific calculator, no? Ayan. Ganito po. Pinutin lang po natin yung sign. Ayan. And then, 48. Automatic po, naka-degree na siya. And then, lalabas na po kagad sa calculator. Equal lang natin. Lalabas na kagad yung sagot. Ito po yung sagot niya. That is 0.47431444825548. Ayan po. Mapapansin niyo dito. The same lang po kami ng sagot. Ayan. Ayan po. Ito po yung sagot niya. And yung sagot po sa calculator ko is the same lang din naman. Ayan po. Ganyan lang po yung paggamit ng calculator natin. Kasi po, hindi naman ito masasagutan ng regular lang, no? And then, ayan po. Tapos, yan, kunin lang po natin yung 4 decimal places or round up natin into 4 decimal places. That is 0.7431. Ayan po. Hindi natin siya nag-round up kasi ang next number natin is 4 below. Kaya hindi na tayo nag-add ng 1. Ulitin ko po sin 48 is equal to 0.7431. Next. Okay. Find the angle given the ratio. Ngayon naman, given naman yung ratio, hanapin naman natin yung angle. Now, sin theta is equal to 0.7275. And ito pong 0.7275 is the ratio. And then, we're going to find for the angle theta. Now, paano natin gagawin yun? Ayan po. Ito po yung ipipress natin sa calculator. Press shift, sign, then, the ratio, equal, lalabas na po itong sagot na to. Ayan. Pagka angle naman po yung kinukuha natin, dapat po, naka 2 decimal places lang tayo. Pasubukan po natin dito. Shift po, pinitin mo natin shift, and then, sign. Dapat po lalabas yung negative 1 sa taas. Kung makikita nyo, meron siyang sign, negative 1. Dapat po lalabas siya. Pag hindi po lumabas yung negative 1 na yun, ibig sabihin po, mali po yung ginagawa natin. No? Nagkakamali po tayo. Kaya, pwede po natin i-clear muna or i-delete natin and then, shift natin ulit, sign. Dapat po lalabas yung negative 1. And then, type natin yung ratio. Yung ratio natin is 0.7275. 0.7275. Ayan po. Then, the answer is 46.677721763128. Ayan. Parehas naman po siguro kami. Nasagot. Ayan. Dapat po 2 decimal places lang tayo. The answer is 46.68. And, Yung nasa right side po kasi ng 7 is 7. That is 5 up. So, mag-add po tayo ng 1. 46.68 degree. Ayan po, no? Since nasa bahay po tayo at medyo hirap po ang sa panahon ngayon, no? Baka po payagan naman tayo ni teacher na gumamit ng cellphone. Paggagamit po tayo ng cellphone para ma-access po natin ang ating scientific calculator sa ating cellphone, punta po kayong calculator and then i-rotate. Yan. Basta i-open nyo po yung open rotation sa ating cellphone. Tapos, ipahiga po natin yung cellphone natin. Pa-crosswise yung cellphone natin. Yan po. Magiging scientific calculator po yung regular na cellphone natin. No? Ganun po. Kung papayagan lang naman tayong teacher. Pero kung hindi po, mag-download po tayo ng ganito. Katulad po nun sa akin. Ayan. Yan. Pwede naman po yan. Pwede man sa sa Android and sa regular na sa Android and the Apple. Pwede naman natin. And po, scientific calculator. And po, since marunong na tayo gumamit ng scientific calculator, next naman po, example number 5 will be, ayan, ang tagal. Triangle BCA is a right triangle with the right angle at C. If side C is 23 and side B is 17, find the measure of angle A, the measure of angle B, and the value of A. Express your answer into 2 decimal places. Yan. Ang una po natin is si angle A. Ito po, angle A. Unahin po muna natin si angle A. If this is our reference angle sa angle A, ano pong connection niya dito sa side B? That is adjacent. Adjacent niya po si angle B and si angle B. Si side B is adjacent ng ating reference angle and side C will be the hypotenuse. Since meron tayong adjacent and hypotenuse, saan po sa TOA ang may adjacent and hypotenuse? That is co. Cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. That is cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Yan. The V adjacent will be B and the hypotenuse is C. By substitution, that is 17 over 23. And then, divide po natin. 17 divided by 23, makakuha po tayo ng 0.7391. Ayan po. Kung sa calculator po, pwede natin 17, clear muna natin. 17 divided by 23. That is 0.7391304.3. Ayan. Katulad po sabi ko kanina, dapat 4 decimal places lang tayo. Kaya naging 0.7391. Kasi po, ratio yan, no? Ratio po kasi pinag-usapan natin. Kaya dapat 4 decimal places. Ayan. For us to find the For us to find the angle A, ayan po. Kailangan po natin i-shift ulit. Shift, cos, and the given. Ano po yung given natin kanina? That is, ayan. Ito po yung maganda sa calculator na nandito. Yung kanina, di ba po, 17 divided by 23. Nakita po natin yung sagot dito, di ba? Equal po natin. And then, shift cos. Ayan, nakita po natin yung sagot sa taas. That is 0.7391. So, pwede ko na siyang sulat kagad. 7391. Then, that is the answer. 42.3451. And then, by round up, magiging 42.35. Sagot po is 42.35 degrees. Sabihin po nakuha natin that angle A is 42.35 degrees. Yan po, nakita ko po sa calculator kung paano po natin kinuha isa-isa. Now, nakuha ko na yung angle A. At may value naman ako ng angle C, which is 90. Sa kabuuan, pag inad natin yung tatlo na to, ang total niya is 180. Or, since 90 na to, ang total ng angle A and angle B pag inad ko, that is 90 degrees. Di ba po? Kasi 90 na to eh. 90 plus 90 is 180. Kaya po, angle B and angle A is complementary. Ibig sabihin po, when we add two angles, the sum is 90 degrees. Ulitin ko po pag sinabi natin complementary angles, the sum of two angles are 90 degrees. So, ayan po. At ang hinahanap naman natin is angle B. Transpose natin yung angle A. Then, substitute po natin yung ating nakuha ang sagot kanina. That is 42.35 degrees. Minus lang natin. That is angle B is equal to 47.65 degrees. Now, kung wala po kayong tiwala sa sagot na to, pwede naman po natin kunin to. No? Itong angle B na to. Reference natin is angle B. And si angle B is opposite niya tong side B. Itong side B na to. And hypotenuse niya yung side C. Kung meron tayong opposite and hypotenuse, that is so. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Pwede nyo pong gamitin yun. And then, the same lang naman po yung makukuha natin sagot dito. Magiging 47.65 degrees. Now, nasagutan na natin yung dalawa. Angle A, the measure of angle A and the measure of angle B. Next one is the value of side A. Paano natin makuha yung value ng side A? We're going to use the Pythagorean Theorem. Ulit, the Pythagorean Theorem is equal, the formula of Pythagorean Theorem is A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Ayan po, para makuha natin yung A squared, ay yung value ng A, transpose natin yung B sa kabilang side, magiging C squared minus B squared. And then, square root both side, A is equal to the square root of C squared minus B squared. Now, by substitution of the given, that is the square root of 23 squared minus 17 squared. Ayan po. Since medyo malaki na to, pwede tayong gawin siguro ng calculator dito na 23 squared and 17 squared. That is 529 minus 289. Ayan po. Simplify. Square root of 240. That is, pwede na po ito. Ayan. Factor natin tong 240. That is 16 times 15. And the square root of 16 is 14. Ayan. The square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 15. Since wala naman square root yung 15. Factor po natin to. Yung isa dapat is may square root. Yung isa wala. Now, kung sabi kasi dito, express your answer in 2 decimal places. Ibig sabihin po, naka-decimal dapat yung sagot natin. Ito. Para po makuha natin yan, kailangan po natin gumamit ang calculator. Ayan po. Square root of 240, that is 15.49. 1, since 2 decimal places lang po yung hinahanap, that is, the final answer is 15.49. Ganun lang po. Para po makuha natin yung 2 decimal places na required dun sa tanong. Yan. Ayan na po yung buong lesson natin for the week 1. Medyo mahaba po ang week 1 natin dahil mula sa paggamit ng mula sa 6 trigonometric ratio, i-apply natin siya, hanapin natin yung 6 trigonometric ratio of the given right triangle, and then hanapin naman natin yung using calculator, paano gumamit ng calculator, and then ang sunod nun is the application of the missing para po makita naman natin yung hinahanap na missing parts of our right triangle. Ayun po, that is our lesson in week 1, quarter 4. Ayan, sana po may natutunan tayo para sa araw na to. Ayan po, maraming salamat at nag-stay kayo hanggang sa dulo. Thank you, sana po may natutunan tayo. Maraming salamat.